Hi, good morning, it's Woody. Here for another video talking about my life and experience living with stage 4 cancer. And in case you don't know me, just to give you a little bit about my background quickly. 2021, late September, I was diagnosed with prostate cancer. And then a few weeks later, I found out it was an aggressive form of cancer, 9 out of 10 on the Gleason scale, and that it had spread to my back and my hip, and some of my lymph nodes as well. So yeah, I was in a pretty bad state, and probably feeling really dark, in a dark place. Since then, I've been making videos, I've been writing a blog, and I've been trying to share the experience with people, and also to provide some kind of help in the way I'm dealing with it. Because before all this, I did used to teach people about the mind. I'm an ambulance instructor, actually, is my job, but I'm heavily into learning about the mind. And then I used to run a course where I used to travel all over the UK delivering this full-day course about teaching people how to deal with anxiety and calming their minds in times of difficult times. Little did I know I'd need it myself, and now I realise just how powerful that stuff is. So I'm sharing it on here. And one of the things I've come up with in my thoughts this week for this video is about something that perhaps wouldn't be normally associated with cancer, and that's happiness and where it comes from. I believe the mind plays such a powerful influence over the body. The mind and body connection, I've been saying this on my videos, is huge. And I think if we can get the right balance of the mind and the body and get them in harmony, then we can start solving the mysteries of how there are many people out there, believe me, that survive incurable cancer. Many people, and not a lot of investigation is done. It's just put down as a fluke, or some kind of placebo or something like that, and off they go, and they go and live the rest of their lives, and then doctors just scratch their heads and go, how did that happen? My belief is that these people have somehow tapped into their mind, changed their way of being, made peace with themselves, and found something more deeper. And by tapping into that, the body has responded, because there is no answers. There's no real medical studies as such. And if they are, please post them, because I'd love to see them. And I think one of the things that plays a big part is our perception of what our illness is about and what it's going to do to us. And the more that we hear the word cancer, and it's a downer, isn't it? It just puts you on a downer. So we need to sort of source happiness in our lives. And I was always under the belief that happiness came from the material things that I managed to get, work hard for, buy them. But I soon I've realised a while ago that actually, when you look at it, they don't make you happy. They're a short-term fix. So they're not what I call deep happiness. They're just they're kind of like fixing a leaking roof by using a bucket, that kind of thing. And happiness comes from within us. We've all got it inside us. And I think one of the things when we're dealing with a situation where you're dealing with cancer is that you have to find as much happiness in your life as you can, and buying things, yeah, it makes you happy for a little while. I always remember every time I got a new car. I used to have a contract for 2 years and get a new car. I used to love getting the new car, and the price had gone up a little bit more, and it was, yeah, I loved the smell of it and the feel of it, and it used to make me happy. Um, and then it just gradually wear off. One day you sit in the car and you think, do you know what, this car's no different than the other one now. It just gets me from A to B. And then, of course, the neighbour rocks up on the driveway next to you with a new car, the next model up, and you think, oh, I quite like that one. Or someone gets a phone and it's the next upgrade from yours, and yeah, we're never satisfied. We're never quite there. Always pushing and wanting that little bit more. Since getting cancer, I think I've been taught so many lessons from this illness that perhaps I kind of knew but didn't really realise. And one of them is that certainly that there is happiness there in things that you probably don't expect. There are things that you take for granted, like listening to the birds singing and waking up in the morning and seeing sunsets. And I've got 2 young children, and every now and again there's something they do just fills my happiness. If I had a pot, it just overflows, and it comes in a moment. It doesn't come. I don't look for it. It just suddenly appears, and I think, wow, that it just takes my breath away. And those are memories and things to store. And it could be a smile, it could be something they say, it could be something I see somebody do, that just makes you think everything's okay. I believe, personally, that if you're going to beat cancer, you have to be at peace. You have to be at peace with yourself in everything, in any way. You can't have, I suppose really the stuff that caused cancer in the first place we have to get rid of. I don't think it's any my own thinking. This is that cancer comes from an unbalance of us, of what we're doing to ourselves, and we have to readdress that balance. And sometimes we have to reinvent ourselves and change ourselves, and the change starts from within, and looking for happiness and being kind and grateful. The 3 things you wouldn't associate with having cancer. It's really strange, but since my diagnosis, once I got over that, once I realised that I'm not going to die right away, I started realising that I've actually found more happiness in the last year than I perhaps have in most of my life, despite having done some wonderful things, been to some wonderful places. It's been in my heart the whole time, and it's a lovely feeling to know that you can just look at something and feel happy about it, or feel kind about it, or even grateful. Those 3 things, I think, are more powerful than any chemo drug, any tablet, any injection, all this stuff that we go through. I think that's where we got to look for our healing to start beginning. I have this really strange belief that I'm going to be okay. I can't put my finger on it. I just understand that I believe I've made peace with everything. After living a life of externally looking very happily, but internally quite often in turmoil with myself, I've kind of readdressed that, made the balance right, and I feel that I'm in harmony with myself. And I know this is a bit deep, but if you think about it, and go away and sit down, how many people or who have cancer right now, anyone watching this, how many of you have led a life where it's been when you've struggled with your emotions or struggled with dealing with things, and all that stuff has built up and it breaks your immune system down, and it allows those cancer cells that every single person unfortunately has in their body, that we all have them. It just depends on our immune system whether they grow and develop and become live, if you like. And our immune system is a key to that, and our mind is a massive key to that, and our mind controls our immune system. I'm really sure of that. What we think about, the way we see ourselves, if we hate ourselves, if we spend years and years hating ourselves, disliking ourselves, scared about things, scared of living, it sometimes takes, in my experience, I'm not saying maybe this is yours, but in mine I've realised that cancer has woken me up and taught me a lesson about life and where to find happiness, and to feel good about the world. Instead of moaning about it all the time, I feel great about it. Hope that helps someone. I just hope somebody looking at this says, I get that, Woody. I really get that, and I hope you do, because this is, for me, the way forward. The way forward. All those tablets and pills and chemo and injections and stuff that we generally go through, it is worth nothing until you get harmony and peace inside. Starting with the way you think about stuff, starting about the way you see yourself. Look at yourself in the mirror and love yourself. And I've learned that. I've learned to actually, I didn't like myself, and now I actually do. I think I'm not such a bad person, deep down. And I found this lovely feeling of life. Ironic, really, when you've been scared that it's going to be taken away, but somehow I just think that I've got some scans coming up in a couple of weeks, the whole lot, the MRI, the CT, the bone scan. I just know that one day, one of these scans is just, the doctors are going to scratch their heads and say, I don't understand it, Woody, but it's all clear. We've got to keep that belief. You have to keep that belief. If you've got that belief, those cancer cells don't stand a chance. So until the next video, keep well, okay? Keep strong, keep believing in yourself.